We got a couple things going here still. There we go. Live streamed. Got it. All right. Folks, Kurt Von Onen here. Welcome to another episode of the Mañana morning check-in. And today is Monday. We're going to hit it hard this week. We got a lot going on. So it's Monday. It's October 18th, 2021. Vaxpreneur it's going in the direction I want it to go. Very soft launch, right? I've mentioned it here a few times. I've built some social channels. I've thrown a couple of tidbits here and there, put out a piece on Friday. I was basically saying, you are not alone, right? You are not alone. If you're unvaxxed, you're not alone. They want you to think you're alone, but you're not alone. There's millions upon millions of people that have chosen not to be vaccinated. And it's very interesting to look at what's happening in the world sphere politically, but this project's not about politics. It's about, you're a people group that chose a direction, and now you're going to need guidance. You're going to need help. You're going to need options. And Vaxpreneur is being built to help supply some of those options. And when I look at announcements like just today, Derek, the owner or CEO of X Strategies LLC down here in Southern California, went and said, you can find me, you can jail me, but I'm not going to force a mandate on my employees. He's not alone. There's a lot of people that are coming out in support of these contrarian ideas. I say contrarian because for some reason, there seems to be this overarching media blast on you're a contrarian if you feel this way. But let's get down to brass tacks. The idea that people would forcibly inject chemicals into your body, that's a contrarian idea. And so again, politics aside, it's meant to be a resource. It's not meant to dwell on negatives. It's meant to find opportunities within obstacles. And to do this, we have courses, we're going to have webinars, we're going to have free events that people can come to, and there'll be some paid features as well, right? But what I'm looking to do is take some of the tools that Mañana has built, over the last couple of decades, and kind of take some of those tools and lend them to Vaxpreneur at either free or substantially lowered cost of entry points so that people can get the best help possible when they need it the most, and then hopefully pay it forward. I'm looking forward to having a community that's built upon paying it forward, that's built upon doing kind and nice things for other people. And so Vaxpreneur is off and running. Why do I seem like I'm in a great mood today? Well, I seem like I'm in a great mood because I had a whole weekend with my son. It was his birthday, took him out. We went camping with the Boy Scouts. We went to a place called Kelso Dunes, Kelso. If you have never heard of Kelso Dunes, it's kind of something to see. It's out in the middle of the high desert in Southern California. It's almost to Vegas, actually. And you get out there and it's everything out there to me seems desolate, right? Because I remember living in Northern California. I remember living in the redwood forest. I remember being close to things in Denver with lots of trees and foliage and things. And so when I went to the high desert of California, to me personally, I go, man, it's kind of barren out here. It's kind of plain. But I know to a lot of people, it's unbridled beauty in its own right. It's kind of like being in, it's kind of like driving through Arizona. Some people look out the window and go, man, look at all that brown sand. And other people go, oh, look, that's so beautiful. Look at those ridges. Look at those mountains. Look at the indigenous plant life. Look at this, look at that, And so anyway, we camped with Boy Scouts. We hiked up a giant sand dune, which is a challenge. If you haven't hiked up a sand dune, it gives you a renewed respect for the movies when you see people getting exhausted walking in the sand, trying to figure out where to go. I couldn't imagine if your life depended on it, trying to go miles and miles and miles in sand dunes like that. But we did. We hiked up to the top of the tallest sand dune, took some pictures, came back down. Woo, had a great meal. Let the kids be kids, and what a great time. We went and saw, I shouldn't call it an abandoned mine, but it's an abandoned mine. We went to an abandoned mine, and it was a mine where they had mined iron for World War II and building warships. And the guy in charge of the scouts, Bill, is a fantastic human being. Bill gave the kids a huge history lesson on This is where they got the workers for this mine. This is how this mine was operated. This is what this mine created. This is what it did to the economy of the United States. This is, the state it's in as we see it now, but what would it have taken, in the 40s, and remember ago, right? People were alive at that time. So it's not like it's that long ago, right? So he's like, yeah, 80 years ago, people in this country were able to focus on a common goal. They were able to supply and support the war effort. They were able to, come together, and they were able, and he went through this whole thing and talked about, Russia and Germany and the United States and Japan, and we even mentioned Canada, I think, and he did a really good job of putting all that together and then applying a scriptural biblical message to it for the kids and the scouts, and it turned into this wonderful devotional talk. And I was really glad that I was there, and I was glad that my son was there as well. It was really cool to see it. And then we kind of did this driving tour of Southern California to get back to where we live. And there's so many takeaways. There's so many takeaways in this thing. I'm a student of leadership, right? So I'm always looking at what's the leadership principle at work here? What's the leadership principle at work here? How is this student, how is this scout using a 360-degree leadership principle to co-lead his team and get up the sand dune? It's all of these things. So there's so many takeaways that come from that. But then here's another blessing. I get back from being off grid. Okay. I've got a couple of tasks to do for a couple of web clients. And so I'm knocking those out early, getting those done. I've got the weekly value-added email that's going to go out from Mañana No Mas later today. So we're putting that together for you. I've got a nice little tidbit in there for you too. It's kind of a feature I'm putting in the Vaxpreneur, but I wanted to give you guys a preview in the email. And so, by the way, if you're not on that email list, subscribe. What's the worst that you could do? Hit delete once a week. You go to Mañana No Mas, you click on Academy at the top of the main menu. When that new page opens up for the Mañana No Mas Academy, right in the middle of that homepage is a form. Just fill out that form, join the list, you get the value-added email. In any case, there's an asset going out in that today I'm kind of happy about. And like I said, I'm going to make it part of the Vaxpreneur package, part of that website, but I wanted to give you guys a preview of it. So I got that going. And as I am going through these things, I'm looking at other items come in. Remember, I was off grid, the whole weekend. So I got a ton of notifications. I got Facebook notifications, LinkedIn notifications, Instagram notifications, TikTok notifications. And I'm getting a lot of positive feedback for Vaxpreneur. That's one good thing. Another good thing is that Eric Allen podcast that got published on the 15th. So that was Friday. I've had multiple people hit me up and say, wow, man, great interview. Wow. I didn't know your backstory. I'm glad I know it now. Wow. I thought you were a good trainer before, but, after seeing your backstory and, again, it's one of these, but to be interviewed, to be the subject of somebody else's podcast and get to explain what you do to people, in a longer format than a 30-second video, right? But in a longer format to be able to go, this is what the Power Sport Academy does. This is what Mañana No Mas does. This is how we do this. This is where I come from. This is why I think this way. This is, what a blessing. And the amount of positivity that has been coming forth from that interview has been really cool. And I'm thankful to Eric for putting that together. I'm also thankful to Eric for this. I showed you guys this last week, but he made this, right? Chopped down a tree and made this. And if we look on the back, it's got the details from the show on it, right? It says episode 124 featuring Kurt Van Onen, founder of the Power Sport Academy, coach and speaker with the John Maxwell team, host of Mañana No Mas, October 15th, 2021. So, I got Eric Allen over here, and I got the details of the show over here. And how cool is that, man? I mean, and when I opened the package up, I could smell the burning wood, right? So it smelled good. It looks good. I mean, what a quality deal. The guy was on my podcast, and I sent him a journal. It wasn't a craft. It was something I bought. And then this guy goes above and beyond, right? And sends me something that he made. So super stoked to know Eric, super stoked to have been on his show. Like I said, the feedback I'm getting from it has been extraordinary. So really excited about that. Above and beyond that is just more push on the Power Sport Academy. I've got people coming to my Facebook Messenger, LinkedIn Messenger. I'm getting emails, I'm getting text messages. People hitting me up on TikTok. Like, do you really teach dealerships how to sell more parts and labor? Yeah, that's what it's about. I do it different than other trainers. A lot of people belong to a 20 group. Think about what a 20 group does. I'm not bashing 20 groups. I think they're a great idea, right? But somebody should be part of a 20 group and hire the Power Sport Academy to train their service staff, right? And here's why. Who goes to the 20 group meeting? Not the service writer and the service manager, right? Somebody else goes. And then they look at spreadsheets and they look at numbers, and someone that's leading the meeting goes, well, these numbers are down. They should be up, and these numbers are up, and these should be down, and these numbers should be right in the middle. That's what you guys should do. And then the owner goes back and he goes, hey, had the 20 group meeting, guys. And I talked to them and they said, these numbers should be here and these numbers should be here. And then these numbers should go straight across the middle. That's what you guys should do. That is not training your service staff to meet goals. That's not teaching your service staff how to communicate with customers and build relationships. And, the short story is the Power Sport Academy helps power sports dealers sell more parts and labor. Like, that's the short story. The long story is we improve customer relationships. We improve the culture within your dealership. We improve the relationship between the front desk and the shop. We improve the relationship between your service manager, your sales manager, and your parts manager. And as we work on turning the culture around inside your business to be more positive and to be more transparent, to use a word that gets overused quite a bit, but to do that, what we see as a result is increased parts and labor sales, improved CSI, and decreased employee turnover. All that equals more profit for the dealer, but it also equals a sense of peace and calm in the dealership that didn't exist previously. There is a way, there are processes and there's policies and processes and procedures that we can put into place in a service department that grease the wheels and keep things moving better. But you got to have the communication and the culture in place in order for it all to work. And so that's why I work in that way. And as the Power Sport Academy expands and we bring more people in to work with the Power Sport Academy, and we're able to contact more dealerships personally to say, hey, have you seen the Power Sport Academy and are you ready to go? As that happens, we'll see more and more awareness, right? But right now we're still in the awareness stage. We're still building awareness of what it is we can do. And so when someone like Eric Allen is able to be generous with his time and let me explain that to people in his audience that hopefully know someone in the power sports industry, that's a kicker. That's right there. So many thanks to him. And again, the feedback has been really, really good. So we're going to take a snippet of that. We're going to plug that into the Power Sport Academy, and we're going to look at some different ways to try and build awareness of the program. But, seeing how many people have been interested in the program over the last month has really shown me that we're on the right track. We're on the right path where we're getting to where people are going to start to go, okay, now I've got the awareness built and I'm beginning to understand the benefits. It is an investment, not just an expense. Let's go with this. And should be clear, I'm not competing with your 20 group club. If you are like, well, we already do this through this group, or we already do this through this group, or we already do this through this group. Great. That's awesome. That's a great first step. But in order to get the information and the techniques driven down to the staff level, you need to have people that do that. And because we do a year-round subscription to our content, and because we do monthly support calls with all of our students, we keep that retention and we keep the excitement for the duration of the program, not just like a 2-day workshop where it all fades in a month. So anyway, that's that. Super excited. Things are moving forward. I'm so happy to see things taking off and moving. We just did another podcast with Nancy. Nancy has, I'm talking like you know who Nancy is. Nancy is part of another organization. They had us on for their podcast. And in that situation, we also got to mention the Power Sport Academy, but we also got to talk about Mañana no Mas's other project, and that is dealing with online challenges and building an organized infrastructure for promoting your online challenges in a more structured way and without being worried about censorship like you are in some other channels. So I'm stoked. Things are moving. Folks, have yourself a great Monday. This really seems like today's talk, like as I noticed as I was talking, you know, it's like, it's me, Mañana no Mas, Power Sport Academy, bam, bam. Like, you know, what is it for you? Before I sign off, I just want to ask, what is it for you? If you watch these on a regular basis and you're saying, well, I watch Kurt talk every day, right? If you do, that's awesome. I'm glad that you're part of the crew. I'm glad that you're part of the community. But what is it for you? How can you take the things that I'm talking about and make them relate to you? Maybe it is, you know, figuring out a project managing system. Maybe you've got too many irons in the fire and you're like, man, I don't know how this guy gets his work done. How does he stay focused on one thing or another? Look at what I say, look at what I do, and look at the tools and the people that are in my circle. I don't do this alone. I couldn't do all this alone, right? I have help. I have people that I work with. So maybe that's a key for you. Maybe you're looking at it and you're going, I just need to find direction. I don't have a passion. I need to find direction. Well, I've got courses that can help you find your purpose. Maybe you want to write a book and you're going, Kurt wrote and published a book. Maybe I'll listen to him for a while and figure out how to publish a book. I don't talk about it much, but you know, I'm in the process of writing yet another book to be published. And it's about leadership principles in these circles that I'm constantly talking about. And so maybe you want to get in touch with me and say, hey, how did you get started writing a book? Or what tools do you use to keep yourself focused to make sure that you write the book in the same voice from one cover to the next? That's the hardest part. The hardest part, at least for me, is how do I stay focused on being that same voice through the whole project, right? You want to be consistent. You don't want to seem like the book was written by 3 or 4 different people. But if we think about it, writing a book's a long project and you change over time and your perceptions may change over time too, or the way that you relate to things. And so that can be a challenge. Maybe you want to reach out to me and figure that out. Folks, you can always reach me. You can hit me on any of the social channels. You can put a comment here on the YouTube channel. If you're watching the replay in LinkedIn or Facebook, you can use the comment system there. But what I love is when people go to mañananomas.com and use the contact link to contact me through the website. That to me tells me that, you know, that asset's working. People are coming to it. People are seeing it. The more visits we get to it, the better it drives through algorithms, all those kinds of things. And so I love when people want to contact me and they go through mañananomas.com, click the contact link, fill in the form, hit me a message, you know, and take a moment, you know, go ahead and look at the Academy link, look at the courses we have available. We've got a new one coming available very, very soon. We've got some stuff for free and some stuff that's super affordable, but I really like to just pay it forward and give you guys as much value as I can. And that's that. I'm going to call it quits for today. I hope that you have a wondrous week. It's Monday. We're starting over for another week and it's going to be grand. All right. Have a good one. Love you guys.